Okay, so tonight we are going to kind of continue our New Girl series. Let me change the settings on my phone 1 second. I have Kirsten and Ashley who are going to help me tonight. And we are going to kind of keep it super simple, but also kind of go into detail about just a few things that I feel like if I put myself back in the position of just starting, like things that you, let's say in your first 2 weeks, if you're just starting, or maybe you just need like a reboot. And I feel like these things are like so simple, but so important also to make sure it's like trickling down to, hang on 1 second, let me mute because I'm getting distracted. Important to trickle down. So like, let's say you just started, but maybe you have a new market partner. These things are so important. And the first thing I want to talk about is your first post. So let's say that you just got your money products and maybe you're a VIP that upgraded, or maybe you just got your products. And so the most important thing is to think about the simplicity of sharing that you're using it. Like, don't think about the sales. Don't think about how you can say, I just started selling money, or I just joined money, or I just partnered with money. Like, you want this to just be you. You are going to be the face of your business. You want the trust with your followers. You want this to be about you and something that you genuinely love and use. So it could be as simple as holding your bottle of oil, say, even in your hand. If you're not comfortable yet, like actually talking on your story, it could literally be the oil in your hand. And when you're posting stuff, I want you to think about ads that you look at that are eye-catching, or something that maybe your mentor or somebody on the team has posted. You want it to be clear and simple. So if you're posting the oil, you could say something like, I cannot wait to share with you guys more on this oil. I've been doing treatments for X amount of weeks or X amount of months or whatever. Or it could be the shampoo and the conditioner or the split end mender. And you could say something like, I cannot believe this holy grail and like what it's done for my ends, like something very brief and subtle, so that it almost kind of creates FOMO and it makes people ask questions. Because if you just give away everything, it doesn't leave room for people to ask questions like, oh my gosh, what is that stuff? And so you just want to keep it super simple. Another idea too would just be demonstrating. If you are comfortable with getting on camera, simply put the phone up and literally just do your oil treatment. You don't have to say anything. You can put music over it. Make sure you have good lighting. This is something we're going to kind of briefly talk about, like content and reels and stuff like that. But the presentation is so important. Just like a lot of you guys always ask, like, how do you do that highlight on your Instagram story? If that catches your eye, make sure you pay attention to what it looks like. It's very clean. It's very simple. It has simple verbiage that's like clear and to the point. So same thing with like you, if it's you doing a story, I don't know, like this ring light that I have right now changes the lighting and the clarity of the picture so much. So if you don't have like a good window with natural lighting, get yourself like a nice little ring light. Because I promise you, just that presentation, if it catches somebody's eye, it's everything. So it could be you doing an oil treatment. You could put music over it, and then you could put something simple on the screen like, I'll never stop my weekly oil treatments, or one thing I'll never stop in my hair care routine is my weekly oil treatments. So anything very simple like that is a great first post, or even it's still something that I do now. So that's the thing, is that you always want to stay with the basics and simplicity. But if you're looking for something that you want it to be like your first post, think of something like that instead of feeling like you have to kind of come out and say, again, like I'm joining Monade or I've joined Monade. Like, take away that part of it. And of course you have, and you've joined our family and community. But when people look at it from the outside, you want them to just look at you, something you love, something you're sharing. I want to also talk about talking to people real quick. So when you're starting, you're like so excited and you're like, who should I talk to? what should the conversation look like? Should I send this message out to my friends or my followers or whatever? The most important thing you can do is think of yourself and put yourself in the position. Also, it's very important to utilize your team and your mentor. Very important. But in the same sentence, if you guys know me and know my story, I really feel like a strength of mine was not having that in a sense. And I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes it really takes you just doing it and maybe messing up and maybe not saying the best thing, and then learning from, hang on, sorry, I get distracted easily. Learning from, okay, maybe that didn't work. Or what you can do is like, sorry, brain dead today, write up something and then send it to your mentor and say, hey, okay, so I was thinking of messaging my sister or my friend, and this is what I was thinking of saying. What do you think? And then we can tweak it. Instead of feeling like you have to have something completely from scratch, like, what should I say? Think of the excitement and why you started using Monat, because that right there is the most important thing. If you have somebody that you want to talk to, the first thing that you need to remember is why you started using Monat. What has it done for your hair? That's the most important thing, because that is probably going to be relatable to most of your audience and the people that you talk to. Has it changed your hair texture? Is it easier to manage? Has it grown? Has it gotten thicker, volume? All those things that seem super simple to you. Because if you think about it too, when you get on the phone with your mentor, right when you're being onboarded, one of the first things you're probably saying is like, oh my gosh, nobody's ever complimented my hair. I had this conversation the other day. Nobody's ever complimented my hair. And my hairstylist the other day was like, girl, what have you been doing to your hair? Whatever it is, like, keep it up. Those little things like that need to be jotted down immediately. And those are things that you can A, talk to other people about, and B, talk on your story. My husband's never noticed a difference in my hair, even when I go to the salon, and I've changed my shampoo, and I've had him and all of my friends lately have been complimenting my hair. Those little things that we seem to skip over are what are most relatable to people. So don't trip yourself up about thinking that you've got to know like all the products and all the ingredients and all this fancy terminology before you start talking, because those things really are even more important than you would think. So when you're talking to people, like when I started, I was trying to think about my hot market, like my mom, my friends, anybody that I felt comfortable talking to, or even think about how common it is for women and moms and whoever to talk about their hair and skin. So also kind of start brainstorming, like, is there somebody that you've talked to about your hair? Maybe they didn't even talk to you, but you talked to them, and now you have the solution. So you can go back and be like, girl, do you remember X, Y, and Z when we were talking about this? That's the kind of conversation you want to have. What you don't want to do is word vomit and tell somebody, hey, I started working with this beauty brand. It's anti-aging, it's vegan, it's this, that, and another thing, and like have a drawn out thing that doesn't feel natural, that if you were sitting at lunch with a friend that you would say. You would probably say, Kirsten, oh my gosh, do you remember how I was telling you how like my hair would never hold style, or my ends were so dry and damaged? You probably won't even believe this, but I changed my hair products and I'm blown away with what it's done with my hair. Little conversations like that, so that they can say, oh my gosh, yes, I remember. Let me see a picture. Yes, I can tell your hair's different now. What is it? Like, give them a chance to ask, so that it's a push and pull conversation and not just so much at one time where there's nothing left for them to ask about. Let me see. Let me look at my notes real quick. Kirsten, I know you were going to kind of touch on some stuff too with talking to people in conversations. Like maybe when you started, do you remember like anything specifically, that you said? Like, was it more like in person, or was it more on social media?
Well, I think my case is a little different because I am a hairstylist. So if there are hairstylists on this, the way that I would approach it most of the time is because it was my clients. It's just me educating people on what I was doing while I was doing it behind the chair. So, while I was washing their hair with the product, I'd be educating about it. Like, this is the black shampoo. It helps bounce pH your scalp. I've noticed you've had a little dandruff lately. This will help with that. And it smells great, feels great, gives you that refreshing feeling, that kind of thing. Moving on to the Rejuva beads when I'm putting it on. So I really tend to educate people because I am a hairstylist. Even when people will come to me because I'm a hairstylist, or just they know that I'm using Monade at this point and say stuff about their hair, I'm like, I kind of just skip forward to like the brainiac stuff. And I do say that because I feel like when you kind of like come off strong and know about the products, people are going to be like, oh dang, well, she kind of like really knows what she's talking about. And it's simple verbiage. And that leads me to like utilizing your back office, because that's something I really wanted to talk on. There's such thing as a resource library in your back office. When you log in, there's like the 3 lines or whatever, and you have your menu, it says resource library. If you click on that, sorry, it's been a long day for me too. You can go to all different types of things. There's different, it'll have like it's June, June box, and it'll have like all this FAQs about June stuff or whatever. There's like a box that says hair care with Monade, skin care with Monade, and you can go dive even deeper into that. And you can literally pull up little pamphlets of like what to say about the IR thickening serum. And it'll give you like do's and don'ts by Monade of like what they really would love for you to say. And there's really good things. So like if you're trying to make a reel or just get familiar with like comments that you can make about these products, then take it upon yourself to go and look in your resource library instead of like asking questions like that. Kind of like the 3 the me rule, like try to look up 3 ways that you can find something first, and then go to your mentor and be like, listen, I did look this up, but I can't find it, kind of thing. Like, what's your opinion on this, or whatever it may be. So that resource library is great. And there's also something called a Market Partner Academy, different things like the shampoo dealer, the glow getter, and I forget what the wellness one is called. But you can take all of those, you get a certificate, you get a hat sent to you free once you pass all of them. And it's just like cute little educational stuff. And it's easy stuff that you could even share on your story once you get it back. Like, that makes your content easy for you because you are educating yourself. You can show this to people like, I'm diving into this business. I'm taking this seriously. I got this cute little diploma and a hat that says shampoo dealer because I took the test and I passed it. Like, it's simple stuff like that. When people see that you're actually trying and putting the effort towards your own business, then they're going to take you serious because you're taking it serious. And then I also was just going to touch on like stories on social media, because I don't really think you too much said anything, but like the gifts and adding extra stuff on top of sale content. Because most of the time, if you're a new girl and you're in WhatsApp already, you know that we send sale content there. That's like easy for everybody to use, that you don't have to make it, because you shouldn't really have to make like all the things up front, but we make it easier for you. And then once you learn, you can customize it to yourself. But like putting little gifts and stuff on top of it and taking away from what really you're just trying to tell people, it's distracting. And I feel like it's easier for people to slide by it. But other than that, make sure you're problem solving. Jade has always said that with your content and your reels, like think of problem solving with the business and with the products. So I really don't even talk about like a ton of the products, and I'm a hairstylist. I pretty much stick to like my 4 favorites, but it's easy for me to do that on my stories because I'm familiar with those terms and what I'm using, and that attracts people because it's simplicity too. So I think that's all I have. I know Ashley was going to talk as well. Ash, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. Like trying to figure out my I can roll off of the back office. So I joined in end of January last year, and Jade onboarded me, and then I love the techie stuff. I love figuring things out for myself, and I love knowing what I'm doing. And if I'm logging into a website, if I go to a new website, I'm always trying to figure out the functions of it and stuff like that. So my advice to you ladies is if you're new, if you have new goals, the back office is literally a resource. I don't even know what you want to call it, like gold mine. It's like a gold mine of things that you need to run your business. And a lot of people don't know, when you're on your back office, like you look at it and you just really don't make the effort to figure out, what does the circle graph mean? What does the 50% GV mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? What does this order alerts mean? Like, spend the time and click on those things and see what they mean, run reports and go in. I feel like I saw very, very fast success when I applied myself and went through my back office and learned things for myself. And I 100% utilized and leaned on Jade for things that I wasn't sure of, but I still took ownership of my business. And I was independent in my own business. And then took tangible questions to her, because at this stage of your business in the beginning, you don't know what you don't know. So it's all good and well if I had to say to a new girl, ask me anything you want, but that open door policy isn't very helpful in the sense of like, you don't really know what to ask anyway, because you don't know anything to ask. So apply yourself, spend some time. You don't have to spend hours. It's a very simple website, but go through it and take tangibles and make notes and take specific points to your upline and say, hey, I was in the back office. What does this mean? I was going through this, like I saw on the reports drop down, there's all these things. What does that mean? Because it doesn't help you get 3 or 4 months into your business and you start actually getting some goals, and then you have to try and understand the questions that they're asking you if you haven't mastered it yourself. And once you know it, it's super easy. And all it takes is a little bit of time and dedication in, okay, that's what the circle graph is. This is what MMP means. This is what A and B means. This is the order of things. And obviously repetition, creates that consistency, and looking at it, it becomes like second nature. And I firmly believe that I saw a lot of independent success by taking ownership of my business and going through the trainings by myself in my own time, going through the resources and looking at what's available to me, so that I know where it is in the back of my mind. So I know if I have a question and I don't want to bother Jade, or I don't want to ask in the group, I'm going to go find it for myself. And then if I cannot find it, I might Google it. And then if I can't find it, I'll probably ask. And that also in and of itself cultivates a sense of independence within your business and confidence within this business, so that if you do have girls asking questions, you feel confident to answer them, and then also speak on your social media. Because a lot of confusion and fear of not speaking about the products or the business is because you don't know what to say. And if you know what to say because you've done the research and you've applied, taken the resources that are given to us, you'll feel way more confident and your business will take off sooner. I don't know, Jade.
I have something perfect for that. So even if you don't, let's say you don't know, because like, again, if you don't know my story, I was signed up and just kind of thrown to sea. So I did not know. I was not super confident. And I found this video the other day, and it was from 2019 in December. So I signed up in April and it was in December. And during that time, I was already doing all the things on my story. I'm going to actually turn my camera. Hang on. Let me see if I can show you this video. But I just want you to see how I'm talking. If you know me and how I talk on my stories now, I'm like extremely nervous. There was no filters on Instagram. My hair, first of all, doesn't look anything like it does now. I'm like playing with my hair. I'm pretty nervous. I'm like, if you're interested, like whatever. So let me just show you if I can turn. Let me see if I can show you. Hang on. How do you turn the camera? Let me see. Okay, hang on. Let me turn my phone on airplane mode. Okay, so let's see. Here's the first one. So message me if you're interested. Okay, watch. Okay, ready? I mean, it's all in what you want to do with it. So message me if you're interested and I'll get back to you. Let me see. So message me if you're interested. Said the same thing. Some girls that just sell to their girlfriends because they get asked a lot about what products they use, or they know that their friends were or are unhappy with their skin and hair. Your family. Okay, so literally that was just like one clip it, but I just want you guys to know that if you're not doing those things, okay, I was not confident about my hair. My hair was like this short. I had just had Memphis. I was not feeling my greatest, but I was getting on my story. I was like, I'm not going to post other people. I was terrified to get on my story. Again, there was no filter. There was no reels. Reels were not even a thing yet. And two things from that. I was gaining business partners. One of Kirsten's friends, when she was doing my hair, this is where I found the video, was that her friend replied to this and was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm interested. I was getting market partners from talking on my story like that. Was not confident. I didn't know what to say. I was like fumbling over my words. But the more you do it, the better you will get. And now I can post that video and show people this is where I started and this is where I am. So if you're not posting when you're first starting, that's number one, because you're not going to have something to look back on and say, oh my gosh, look at my growth. But also, I didn't say the perfect thing. I didn't even know what I was doing. I had nobody coaching me, nobody telling me, you can do it, girl. Like, I had to do it because I wanted this. Like, at the end of the day, nobody is going to make you successful in this, in life. Nobody's going to get you out of debt. Nobody's going to be there every day to say, hey, make sure you're posting, make sure you're talking, make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for anything. Like, you guys know that even with any job, that nobody is there like just pushing you throughout the day. So if you really want it, I know it's scary because I was terrified when I was doing that, but you got to do it. There's things that you got to do, and you have to rip the Band-Aid off and just start. Like, you might mess up, like I said, but you're going to get better every single time. And I can promise you that people will be interested in you. Like, it's not what I was saying. Clearly, it's not what I was saying, but it was my consistency. It was other things that I was posting. I was like literally talking like that every single day on my story. So please just know that no matter what upline you have, you could have the best, you could have the worst. At the end of the day, it's really up to you and your persistence, your consistency, but the belief in yourself, which takes time, and doing those things and showing up for your business is what's going to make you feel more confident. And people are going to be interested in you if they see you doing those things. Okay.
Can I add to that, Jade?
Yes, because I'm going to pull up, I want to show one thing with Reels real quick. So while I'm doing that, absolutely go ahead.
Something my husband shared with me, and then also shared it on Monday when we did that talk for those ladies. Forget the fact that you need to sell. Like, just have conversations and make connections instead of like thinking you need to know every single active ingredient in the oil or why the Rejuva beads does what it does. People really don't care about your product. They want people don't care about what you know. They want to know how much you care. And I think that's where it starts. Like, if you say, I was feeling this way, I was feeling so embarrassed by my hair. I started to feel really self-conscious because I was getting like my temples and my hairline was thinning. And now I feel amazing. I literally today, I washed my hair this morning and it was humid outside, but for some reason my hair was just playing along. And I was literally in the gym and I was like, nobody can touch me today. I feel amazing because my hair felt so good. It looked so good. It stayed nice all day. And I literally felt unstoppable. And just because I was having such a good hair day. And that's the type of feeling that you want you want that for other women, because you're like, girl, do you know how good you feel when you have a good hair day? And those are the things that you want to relate to people. So the first step is you have to believe and let people know how much you believe in the products, that they see that, and then they see that you're using them, and then they see the results. They want to know that you care about their results and that you want to get them to that point too. It's not about the product. It's about how they're going to feel because of the product.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So true. And I feel like we're kind of bouncing around here, but I'm really trying to touch on simplicity of things to start and tips. And I feel like questions that I get asked a lot. So I'm going to turn my camera again because I want to show you two things with reels real quick. Okay. So when you're making a reel, okay, and you have your verbiage on here, okay, watch my screen. Whenever you go to put your wording on here, you see this line that's popping up. Okay. Watch it right here. So I have my wording in the middle. When I go down here, because I notice this a lot with you guys' reels, it stops up and it turns blue and it shows you what it's going to look like when you post it. Okay. It's got like the heart over here. Notice that you have to have your hand on the words. A lot of you guys pull the verbiage down here. And then when you post it, you can't see any of the things that you've written down here, because all of this right here where it shows your I hope you can see this. Can you guys see it okay?
Yeah,
Where
we can
you
see it.
have, okay,
Yeah.
so like where it's like my Instagram name and who likes it and the music, all your wording that's so important is hidden down here. And on this side over here, it shows like the likes, the comments, sharing, and all of your important verbiage is way down here. So when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you're like making it a little bit smaller and scaling it to the screen so that when you're holding it down, I'm always like double, triple checking where my wording is. You see now the heart's way over here and the comment button, and down here is my profile name. So you want to make sure that if you want wording on there, that it's like right in the middle, up towards the top, so that when you're making your reel, your wording is there. Okay. It's not cut off. The other thing is if you guys want to know how to, like, how do you put wording in the beginning and then it cuts off and then you have new wording down here, when you're typing stuff, you click on this, and this button right here is literally a drag. Look, you can drag this, and this is where you want your wording. So if I'm dragging this down on the bottom, say for 2 seconds or whatever, that's where the wording stops. Now watch what it does. It's going to go away. You hit done and it goes away. And then you can type new stuff. Say we type new stuff, right? Okay. And then, so you've got this here, and then a new button pops up down at the bottom. Okay. So now you've got your hair tips, your second one. Say you want that to start after. So watch what happens when it plays. We've got this. And then it goes back to the beginning, because everything down here that you write, you can click on it and then put it where you want it. But just make sure that when you make your reels like this, that your wording is clear. You're not using a bunch of funky fonts like this one right here, this last one, the very last one. I know it's hard to see on my phone. Sorry. Hang on, let me see if this helps. The last one right here, that one and this one, the one that's really bold, those are the best two ones to use, because the other ones just look funky. They're hard to read. You don't want a bunch of different like coloring and funny filters and things that make it hard to read. So just make sure that that's a really common thing that I see a lot, is where when I'm looking at the reel is so good, but I'm like, you can't see any of the wording because it's down at the bottom. So that's something that it took me a while, because I would post up and be like, dang, why is my wording all the way over and you can't even see the last word because the like button is literally covering it. So if you hold your finger over the wording and drag it around, you'll be able to see everything and what it's going to look like. Okay.
And then also just make sure you're really adjusting the cover photo. It gives you an option to pick the cover photo. So pick something that's attractive and catches your eye about within that reel that you, I mean, like if you have the hair tips and here's your hair tips, that's pretty much probably what you want your cover photo to be, so that people can see what they're like, the preview of the reel is, and then it attracts them.
The other thing you can do is save the video to your phone and then go into your photo gallery. And if there's a certain part that you want, like say you're like fixing your hair perfectly or something, and like where you have hair tips, you're like in the middle of talking or whatever, you can screenshot that part of the video and then just put the writing over top of it. You screenshot that part of the video. Okay. I'm going to go step by step. Take it into your Instagram, like on your Instagram story, if you were going to upload it, and use the font, like the same font, and put hair tips in bold, so that when you're looking at your Instagram page, it shows right there. If somebody's looking for the one that says curl tips or curly girl tips or whatever it says, it's right there. But also, yes, you want your cover to be relevant to what you're sharing. Always save your videos too. And if you guys want to know how to make a reel, this is where it's important to think about how you learn things. YouTube will show you everything. If you go on YouTube, how to make my first reel, how to make a reel with a transition, how to make a reel with verbiage, whatever, like anything that you need to know. That was where I learned everything. Like I said, when I started Monat, reels did not even exist. And then when they did become a thing, like bloggers and people that were really into, I don't even know what you call it. What am I trying to say? Content creator, whatever. They were like flawless. And I had never made a reel before. If I go back in my reels from 2 years ago, they're horrendous. But again, start and learn and put intention into it. So go on YouTube and literally type in how to make a reel. I think we have a video, like a social media training, but I just feel like if you sit with YouTube open and have your phone open and go through it as it's walking you through it, it'll be so much more important or helpful. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat real quick. Let me see. Marissa said, save the video before you add text so you can screenshot. Yes, so always make sure, I guess it depends on how you make the reel, because I make a lot of my reels in my Instagram story. Like if I'm just spraying dry shampoo, I'll literally go into my Instagram story. I use the same filter every single time. The only filter I use is Icon. I feel like the lighting is good. It doesn't change your face a ton. It's not like super orange or the color's super crazy. So I use the same one so it's consistent on my page, or don't use any filter. And I do it on my story, and then I'll save the video and then find the audio that I want to use and upload it from there. So like this one that I just made, let me show you real quick, and then I'm going to let you guys go because I got to get this one that I just made with my hair was so easy. I literally videotaped that on my camera. I was like looking at the camera, making sure I was in the right place, playing with my hair. It was a whole mess. And then I went into my Instagram reel once I found the audio I wanted to use and literally just chopped it up in there. Added the video in the same way I just showed you how you drag the words. You can do the same thing with the video. You can click on it and cut out little clips of it. So it's you going like this, then it's you from the back, then it's you brushing your hair, like all that stuff. Again, utilize YouTube and say how to make a reel and let it walk you through it. But yes, save the video if you do make it in the reel. And that'll just take time. It's going to be patient with yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to do crazy transitions. And how does the girl not be ready? And then all of a sudden she's like this and she's ready. Like just do simple things. Show your oil treatments, show your hair, show how you curl your hair, little simple things. And as you gain confidence and do it, you'll get better. I promise you, because I am not tech savvy and I was the absolute worst with reels when I started. And I feel like I've gotten pretty good at them. So, do you mean the recording for this call? Is that what you meant? I think who was that?
Yes.
Pam? Okay, yeah, yes, definitely. I'm recording, so I'll send it to WhatsApp right after. And I feel like that's it. I want to keep it short and simple. And we are absolutely going to do these once a week. I said that, like, I don't remember when it was, last month or the month before. But this is going to be a weekly thing. Hopefully I can do it. Is today Wednesday? Every Wednesday. And I just want to talk with you guys. It doesn't have to be like a super fancy call. I just want to talk things out, ask questions, little things that get asked a lot and things that are very important in the very beginning of your business. I want you guys to have a step-by-step good flow of things. Okay. Kirsten and Ashley, thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys have a good night. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.